Welcome to another episode of Talk Leadership with Sola, powered by Sola Leadership Blueprintt. Thank you for joining me once again. Whether you're a CEO, a director, a team leader, a supervisor, an inspiring leader, or someone who simply wants to become better at influencing people, this episode is for you. Today, I want to challenge one of the most common statements we hear in leadership. We've all heard people leave managers, not organization. There is truth in that statement, but I believe there is something even deeper. People don't leave organization first. They actually leave conversations. Most resignations don't begin with a resignation letter. They actually begin with a conversation that never happened or a conversation that wasn't handled well. Today's episode isn't just about communication. It's about the quality of conversations that either build trust or slowly breaks it. So let's talk leadership. Now, as leaders, we often think people resign because of salary, workload, or better opportunities. Well, sometimes they do, but many people mentally resign once before they physically leave. They stop sharing ideas, they stop volunteering, they stop speaking up, they stop believing their voice matters, and eventually they stop caring. By the time they hand in their notice, they've already left emotionally. The resignation letter is simply the paperwork. The real resignation happened in silence. Now, every conversation builds or breaks trust. Leadership is built one conversation at a time. Every interaction matters. The way you greet people, the way you respond when someone makes a mistake, the way you get feedback, it really matters. The way you listen, the way you ask questions. People may forget your presentation. They may actually forget your meeting agenda. Most of the time we do. But they will always remember how your words made them feel. Trust isn't built in one big moment. It's built in hundreds of small conversations. Some leaders believe that saying nothing avoids conflict. Actually, silence often creates bigger problems. When leaders don't explain decisions, people create their own stories. When leaders don't acknowledge effort, people assume they aren't valued. When leaders don't give feedback, people don't know where they stand. Silence rarely creates clarity. It actually creates confusion. Leadership requires courageous conversation. And I'm sure someone listening to me, that may actually resonate with you. Many leaders believe communication means speaking well. No, not at all. The most influential leaders know how to listen exceptionally well. And I will emphasize on that. They listen exceptionally well. Listening isn't waiting for your turn to speak. Listening is understanding before responding. Sometimes your team doesn't need another motivational speech, which most of the time, that's what we hear. They need someone who genuinely hears them. People become loyal to leaders who make them feel understood. Now, let's be honest. Difficult conversations are uncomfortable. There's no doubt about that. It's easier to ignore poor behavior. It's easier to postpone feedback. It's easier to hope problems disappear. But leadership isn't about choosing comfort. It's about choosing responsibility. Every difficult conversations you actually avoid today, it becomes a bigger problem tomorrow. And I'm sure some of you have witnessed that. Poor performance grows when you do that. Conflict grows, frustration grows, and eventually the relationship breaks down. Great leaders don't enjoy difficult conversations. They simply understand they are necessary. Let me ask you, when was the last time you genuinely thanked someone? Genuinely thanked someone. Not because they achieved something extraordinary, but because they consistently showed up. Recognition isn't expensive. It's not, but its absence is. The absence of recognition is expensive. People don't always leave because they are unpaid. Sometimes they leave because they feel unseen. A simple conversation that says, I notice your efforts. Thank you. You made a difference can change someone's entire week. I want to ask you, do we see that nowadays? Do we genuinely see that? Or is just that a tick box process? Some leaders think authority means always being right. It doesn't. Strong leaders admit when they've made mistakes. They apologize. They ask for feedback. They remain teachable. Your team doesn't expect perfection. They expect authenticity. One sincere apology often restores more trust than 100 excuses. Now, let's talk about the questions every leader should ask. Instead of asking, why are people leaving? Why not ask, when was the last meaningful conversation I had with my team? Instead of asking, why isn't my team engaged? Ask, do they feel safe enough to tell me the truth? Instead of asking, why doesn't anyone bring new ideas? I need you to ask, how do I respond when someone challenges my thinking? The quality of your leadership is often reflected in the quality of the questions you ask. Every team has someone who rarely speaks, and I'm sure you can identify them in your team. Don't mistake silence for agreement. Sometimes the quietest person carries the biggest concerns. Create a space, a safe space. Ask their opinion. Invite their perspective. Great leaders don't only hear the loudest voices. They intentionally seek out the quiet ones. But that's not what we see nowadays. This principle doesn't only apply to work. So I'm going to talk about leadership beyond the workplace. It applies to families, friendships, community, businesses, place of worship, everywhere. People drift away from relationship long before they physically leave them, often because meaningful conversations stopped. Leadership begins everywhere people are. Let me ask you, when was the last time someone felt better after talking to you? That's a question I've actually been asking myself too. When someone leaves a conversation with me, do they feel encouraged? Do they feel valued? Do they feel heard? Or do they leave feeling smaller than when they arrived? Leadership is measured in moments like this. I'll leave that for you to think. Sometimes one conversation changes a career. One conversation restores confidence. One conversation saves lots of things. One conversation inspires someone to pursue a dream. Never underestimate the power of your words. As leaders, we shape lives. So be mindful of the conversation you have. They either build or break. Perhaps you've been listening today as a leader. Maybe there's someone you've been meaning to speak to, a colleague, a team member, a friend, an employee, a family member. Don't wait until it's too late. Don't wait until they're emotionally checked out. Have the conversation. Listen more than you speak. Seek understanding before you actually give advice. People don't expect perfect leaders. They value present leaders. And as I bring this episode to a close, I want to leave you with this thought. Leadership is not measured by how many people report to you. It's measured by how many people feel safe, valued, and inspired because of you. If someone on your team resigns tomorrow, don't only ask why they left. Ask yourself, what conversations did we never have? What questions did I never ask? What concerns did I never create space to hear? Because people don't usually leave organization first. They leave conversation. So this week, choose one conversation you've been avoiding. Have it with courage, have it with empathy, have it with humility. It might just be the conversation that changes everything. Thank you so much for listening to Talk Leadership with Sola. If this episode made you reflect, share it with another leader. Let's create workplaces where people don't just stay because of contracts. They stay because they feel seen, they feel heard and valued. Now, until next time, keep growing, keep listening, keep leading. And I want you to remember this. The greatest leadership tool you possess isn't your authority. It's not. It's the ability to have the conversations that others are afraid to start. Take care. Until next episode. Bye.